Honorable Judges D.K. Mehtaji and retired Judge of District and Sessions Judge, also the Director of Punjab Judicial Academy. We are thankful for your presence to this event. We also welcome Justice B.J. Nandli Sir, retired Justice District and Session Judge, presently working as arbitrator. We also welcome Professor Dr. Gurpal Singh Sir, retired Dean Punjabi University and currently the Director of Bhai Gurdas Singh Law College. He is the most senior professor in Punjab. We also welcome Dr. Manoj Kumar Sharma Sir, Associate Professor at Rajiv Gandhi National University, Patiala. We request our honorable dignitaries to please come forward for lighting the lamp.
Lapil sir, आजा ब्रो लगा
ना ना इतना स्टैंड
Now I request Managing Director Shri Manhar Arora Sir to please address the chief guest.
Good afternoon to all of you. Dear students, am I audible? So good afternoon to all of you. Wonderful. It's wonderful to see you all again in this campus and in this auditorium. And once again, it's an auspicious day today that we all have gathered today to celebrate the Moot Court competition, the 12th RC Chopra Memorial Moot Court competition organized by the Saint Soldier Law College. And it's again, as I told you, this is an auspicious day when we have with us the legends, the eminent personalities of the law fraternity, those who have all together come to share their blessings the vision with all of us. And as a student, you must all feel quite lucky and excited that these men's personalities are present here in your academic life, in your student life, and you are learning from them, you are getting information from them, you are getting inspiration from them. So I feel proud in extending my heartiest welcome to the distinguished personalities on this 12th R.C. Chopra Memorial Moot Court competition. I extend my heartiest welcome to His Lordship, Justice M.S. Chauhanji, for his gracious presence to this Moot Court competition. He has been already a part of our family, and he has shown us many ways to conduct this Moot Court competition to be very effective and very meaningful for all the students. At the same time, I welcome His Lordship, Justice Kuldeep Ji, who has already given his ideas, views, his words to us, which are leading us to have improvements every year in the Moot Court competition. We welcome you, sir, here. And I extend my heartiest welcome to Shri B.K. Mehta ji, the retired session judge. He has again been a pioneer for us, for giving us this valuable information. I welcome Shri B.J. Nangli ji, retired session judge. I welcome Dr. Gurpal Singh ji, who has been a living legend in the fraternity of law. We have learned so many things from him, and he has been a lot of contributor in the field of law. And at the same time, I welcome Professor Manoj Kumar, the Associate Professor from the Rajiv Gandhi National Law University. And above all, I welcome our Chairman, Shri Anil Chopra ji, and Vice Chairperson, Ma'am, Mrs. Sangeeta Chopra ji. Those who are the guiding star for us. Students, distinguished faculty members, and the distinguished guests. You can imagine, this is our 12th R.C. Chopra Memorial Moot Court competition. So we have marched a long way of 12 years. So that's a great success for any organization, for any college. So this is possible only because of the guidelines, the motivation, the encouragement by our chairman sir and the vice chairperson ma'am. And that has been given a meaningful structure by our Dr. Subhash Sharma ji. He is the director of the St. Soldier Law College, which is the pillar, the legend in this fraternity. So I wish we should give them a right applause for all the team members, for all the guests. And at the same time, the learned advocates, the learned members of faculty from the different colleges, and all students, those who have come across from 25 different states. So this means the whole India is before me. The whole India is sitting before me, and I am really much encouraged and quite enthusiastic about welcoming you all in this second day of 12th R.C. Chopra Memorial Moot Court competition. Yesterday, we have seen number of Moot Court competitions, and from out of that, we have come out the two teams which are going to appear for the final competition there, and you will see a wonderful sort of the arguments, the wonderful convincing approach with passion about the law studies, and we have witnessed, and I must say, that every individual of you sitting in this room, you have done a wonderful job by participating in this 12th R.C. Chopra Memorial Moot competition. Your participation makes a difference. If I say that, even if there are 100 students before me, or maybe 120 students before me, so you are a different league. You are a different league from others. In your colleges, there might be students, 500 students, 800 students, 1000 students. So if you have come from those colleges and you are representing that college and you have a 3 or 4 persons team, so you can well imagine you are a different league from others. So do you deserve a round of applause for yourself or not? And right and loud from the back side is also. Please give yourself a round of applause. Please, I want to see. I want to listen. It's a big achievement. You have come across from the distances. Those who have won, that's good. But those who have participated, they have won the experiences of this thing. So this experience will be there for you, with you all the time, all the career. Maybe the small mistakes, maybe some of the good things which you have did in your moot court competition, you will carry along with you in all your career. So that is one of the achievements you have got in the 12th R.C. Chopra Memorial Moot Court competition. And before I once again extend my heartiest welcome to all individuals, those who have come here, participated, and the all organizers, those who have put their heart and life for the day and night. I can see some of my good students, they hardly slept in the last 4-5 days. So they are just giving their best to make this event a successful, huge successful, and that's a great opportunity for all of us to be a part of it. So once again, I welcome you to the final day of the 12th R.C. Chopra Memorial Moot competition. Thank you so much for all sparing your valuable time and giving our students a meaningful information and the value to our students, those who have come across from the different 25 states. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Now I request the honorable judges to please come on the stage for the final proceedings. 45 minutes will be given to each team. Please tell us how much time Mooter 1 and Mooter 2 will take. 5 minutes will be given for a button.
ये इधर रख ठीक है बहुत बिल्कुल सही है डन है भाजी ठीक है ठीक है अमेजिंग
ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੈਮਰਾ ਚੱਕ ਕੇ ਘੁਮਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ ਯਾਰ
किधर
ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੈਮਰਾ ਚੱਕ ਕੇ ਘੁਮਾਉਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਆ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ
कट लाई है
ਕੱਟ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਉਹ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਡਾਂਸ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ ਜੂਮ ਖੋਲ ਦੋ
इधर आके मार लो
ਹਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਐਡ ਨੂੰ ਬਣਾ ਲਓ
ठीक है ये तो चलो लाइव ही चली है ना उन्होंने करो वो जोड़ दो हाँ ठीक है जड़वा लाँगे हाँ ठीक है बिल्कुल सही कह रहे शॉर्ट ला के कट ला के फिर इधरों कर
ਕੋਈ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਕਰ ਬੋਲੋਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਪੀਡ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ
डन मैंने कह देना कि
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਹੈ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਬਾਤ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ
राइट मैं ला के रख मगर इस बात तो काम स्टैंड की ना हाइट बहुत इतनी उत्थे पहुँच नहीं ना स्टैंड लाने नहीं चाहिए
Your Lordship, may we start with the proceedings of the court? The court is in session now.
ऑन कर दे ऑन कर लो
हेलो Your Lordships, our team number is 2339 from the side of appellate. 2339. Yes, Your Lordships. Yes, sir. Greetings to the bench. May the council refer to the bench collectively as Your Lordships. Your Lordships, this instant matter is of murder of a person named Sumit, which is apparently and which is pushed by the respondent as if they the accused in this manner are a juvenile for which I can whom I cannot name, and the other one is a major who was tried but both were tried in the same court, which is the which is the Sessions Court. Your Lordships, if the bench is not well versed with the facts of the case, may I proceed with the facts of the case in a crisp manner? If the bench is not aware of the facts, Your Lordships, if the bench grants me to shorten it up and deliver the facts in 2 minutes, if that is permissible. Your Lordships, in the instant matter, I'll be dealing with issue number 1 and issue number 2. Issue number 1, namely, can the conviction be based on circumstantial evidence based in this case? And issue number 2 is the conviction based on retracted confession appropriate? Your Lordships, in the instant case, what has happened is, Sumit went out with his friends and he has never returned back. But what happened later on was a call received by the police officers was of the father of Sumit. The mother confirmed that Sumit has went out with 2 of his friends, and since then he has not returned back. Police, on this preliminary investigation, went to the house of the accused, and then later on, it is what the police contest that they have given a confession, and based on that confession, police has made a recovery. And the recovery made thereafter is of the murder weapon, which is knife in this case. Your Lordships, I would like to first draw your attention towards Section 27 of the Indian Evidence Act, and as propounded by the judgment of Pulluguri Kottaya versus the Emperor, AIR 1947, which is a judgment of Privy Council, which talks about Section 27 and how the recovery is made. Your Lordships, in this case, the recovery of murder weapon is fundamental clause because it does not prove the murder to a certain extent that the accused in this matter were aware of the hiding of and the concealment of the murder weapon, which is the knife. Your Lordships, there is no corroboration to find out if the murder weapon or the knife found is the murder weapon. There is no recovery of body. There is no recovery of any forensic evidence. In this case, police has recovered blood-stained cloth, blood-stained paper. Police has recovered pieces of glass, and police has also recovered a huge pile of blood. They've prepared a memo, but never proceeded towards the forensics of it. They've also found heavy dragging marks from the roadside, where which was the crime scene. And they also in their statement have stated that after murdering Sumit, both his friends have threw his wallet and helmet in the jungle. Police has failed to recover any of this. Police later on in the confession given to them apparently has stated that both the accused, then after killing, dragging the body to the river, throwing and dumping it into the river, swam across the river, burned their blood-stained clothes, and then hid the weapon of crime. Your Lordships, I would like to draw your attention towards paragraph 3 of the fact sheet, which talks about Sumit was returning home from the office at around 5 p.m. So it is a general assumption that whatever has happened after 5 p.m. in the evening time. Your Lordships, it is very amusing for me to read this fact wherein both the accused swam across the river in a drunken state apparently and then burned their wet clothes. How would any person swimming across the river in a drunken state after killing a person burn their wet clothes is the first contention. This is the entire proposition of the prosecution is logically flawed. Your Lordships, if I may be able to, if I am allowed to refer to a document, Your Lordships. Your Lordships, I would like to contest that under Section 27, only in certain cases such as TADA or NDPS, when we talk about narcotics and psychotropic substances, the recovery itself is incriminating, which leads to the person who was in possession of these products, or should I say, in Tata also, in case of illegal firearms, the recovery is present, and the recovery itself accumulates to the guilt of the accused. But in this case, there is no such thing. In furtherance of this, the police took the confession, later on moved towards the magistrate, and the magistrate recorded this, the statement under 164 of CRPC. Your Lordships, while recording the section, the statement under 164 of CRPC, the magistrate failed to issue the certificate. Apart from this, the magistrate also failed to keep the police officer out of the courtroom. Yes, Your Lordships.
If we read section 26 of Evidence Act, it says that a confession made in immediate presence of a magistrate is admissible. The confession is recorded by the police, but in the presence of the magistrate, then there is no pressure. But you are putting the cart before the horse by saying that when magistrate was recording the confession, a police officer was present there. That meant the confession was not voluntary. How do you justify it?
Your Lordships, when we talk about section 164 of CRPC, 164 also has its corrective measures.
What about 164? Let us first be clear about it. When the magistrate is recording the confession and a police officer is standing nearby, right?
Yes,
Do you feel the magistrate is pressurized by the presence of the police officer?
Not the magistrate, Your Lordships, but the
Or-
person.
Just a minute, let me complete the question. Or the accused is pressurized, then I will take you back to section 26 of the Evidence Act. There he is not pressurized, and here he is pressurized. How do you justify it?
Your Lordships, under 161 of CRPC, we also see that any confession given to the police is not admissible in court. The only reason and the object of 164 is that whenever a person giving the statement or giving the confession should not retract back from this particular confession. But the mannerism in which the 164 is to be recorded is of crux over here. In this particular manner, the manner in which it is to be recorded is that the accused should be made aware of his rights then and there, because it directly correlates to his fundamental rights also, which is against self-incrimination.
There is a presumption that the acts done by the public servants are done in good faith, right?
Yes.
When a magistrate records this statement, he is presumed to have followed the procedure laid down by 164 and 281 CRPC. How do you come out of it?
Your Lordships, it is an undisputed fact in the fact sheet in the Moot proposition, which cannot be disputed at this point of time, which clearly states that the magistrate failed to record the certificate under 164 of CRPC.
This is what I am saying. When he says statement under 164, right? We presume that it was according to 164.
Yes, Your Lordships.
What is your argument?
Your Lordships, it is in the very next line contended that it was not done in a proper manner. It should be done in a proper manner as stipulated under subsections 1, 2, 3 and 4. Furthermore, in 281, if it is in contravention of that, it has to be corrected through the same statute which enables it through the section 463 of CRPC.
Four 63 says it is curable defect.
Yes, Your Lordship. So, but in this, yes,
It can be cured.
it can be, Your Lordships, but while trial court was administering this statement, the trial court should have consulted the magistrate before passing a judgment that whether the statement given to you was voluntary or was in its full true nature, or was it out of any kind of threat. Was the accused explained of his rights? Was there a sign of magistrate? Wherein, when we talk about certificate, Your Lordships, it's not, according to my interpretation, it's not under section 164(4), but it is under 281 subsection 5, which says, which mentions of one clear line that I have explained to the accused that he is not bound to make a confession, and that confession can be used against him. Without this certificate, the entire integrity of 164 is challenged, because how can we rely on something which it is curable, but only if
You are arguing before us,
Yes,
right? When we give judgment, it is presumed that the judgment is given after hearing you, right? You go out and say, no, I was not heard, and judgment was given without hearing me. Who will believe you?
no one, Your Lordships.
So,
Your Lordships, furthermore, I would like to contest that this particular statement has, at the stage of trial, been retracted and is a retracted confession. Your Lordships, through different cases, it has been propounded that wherever a confession is so retracted, the court should take a slow measure as to analyze why was the statement retracted by the person making the statement. Was there a reason? And the court should have taken a steady approach, considering one person in this matter was a juvenile, and in a hasty manner delivering a judgment, which would also, in this case, there is no recovery of the bike, there is no recovery of the helmet, there is no recovery of the wallet, and there is no recovery of the body. Your Lordships, even if the police in their thorough investigation would have found one piece of credible information, for example, let's take this as an example, the helmet of the victim in this case, even if that would have been recovered, it would have been corroborated by the mother if it belonged to her son or not. If there was wallet, it could have been corroborated. If there would have been bike or the body, anything would form a credible piece of evidence. But the knife was recovered solely by police, and accused did not lead the police to that particular location.
No, you are mistaken. It is on the statement of the accused. The accused identified the place that here it is where the knife is hidden, and only then it is recovered. And where is the question of identification by the mother? Should the mother identify the knife?
No, Your Lordships, but apart from that, everything that belonged to Sumit, which could have been used for further corroboration by Sumit's mother, if the wallet would have found anything that could relate back to Sumit.
His clothes were burnt.
Not Sumit's clothes, Your Lordships.
Yes.
Not Sumit's clothes. The clothes of the people who...
But Sumit's body is not recovered. From where the clothes would come?
Your Lordships, when I talk about the burnt clothes, it's not of Sumit, but it is of the accused who swam across the river and burnt their clothes.
Your case is that Sumit's body was not recovered.
Yes, Your Lordship.
Right? Clothes must be on the body,
yes,
or if the clothes were left behind by Sumit while drowning.
Your Lordships, it's clearly stated in the facts that in the confession made by both the accused, they first go on Dilbagh extension, they purchase a bottle of alcohol, they go onto the highway, they try to answer a call of nature, then they stab Sumit. After stabbing him, they drag his body to the river, they dump it there, they swim across the river, they burn their blood-stained clothes, and then hide the knife. It is what... So the police has failed to recover anything apart from the knives. And usually, sir, Your Lordships, in this principle that should have been followed is at least a panchnama or panchas or any independent witnesses should have accompanied the police while recovering the knife. The accused was also not accompanying the police while the recovery was being made, and neither was any independent witness. The police could have hidden the knives over there.
There are hundreds of judgments of the Supreme Court to say that an evidence acquired illegally is admissible. If a particular procedure was not followed, that will not make the evidence inadmissible.
Oblige, Your Lordship. Your Lordships, my also contention is that this case heavily relies on circumstantial evidences. But the prosecution has failed to even bring out the motive or any forensic evidences or any expert witnesses in this matter.
How you assess the confessional statement before the magistrate?
Pardon, Your Lordships?
How you challenge the statement recorded before under 164 before the magistrate? What are the grounds for challenging that statement?
Your Lordships, under 164 of CRPC, the onus lies on the magistrate so that the confession so being recorded is voluntary and truthful in nature. The whole objective that 164 serves is a strong purpose. It is not an extrajudicial confession, it is a confession given to a magistrate. It is the duty of the magistrate to record in a proper manner. And the proper manner is not just making a certificate. We should see it as a whole. It is to explain the accused of his rights. It is to explain to the accused that it can be used against him in the trial proceedings. If not, it falls against his rights to defense that he can avail during the course of trial.
But as for the facts, the magistrate did not record the certificate under 164 CRPC. What is the effect of that certificate? Non-recording of that certificate.
Your Lordships, first of all, if it would have been cured by 463 of CRPC, it should have been cured during the trial stage and not at the appellate stage. If there was an error made by the magistrate, the trial court should have rightfully pointed that mistake out. And after pointing out that mistake, the magistrate should have taken the corrective measures to correct all of and correct, under 160, under 463 it should have issued that yes, I have failed to record the certificate, but it is true to all my facts and beliefs that yes, this person has recorded so and so statement, and not to reduce the validity of 164, which has not happened in this case. And also, when we talk about 164, and your lordships rightfully said that the police's presence, your lordships in different, it is again CRPC is the parent act, and when we talk about the rules that are made by different high courts in terms of when I speak about Madras High Court, they have made a rule that whenever 164 is being recorded, the police officer or investigation officer should not even be present in the vicinity where it is being recorded. In Karnataka High Court, they have laid down the rule that he should not be present in the room. Different high courts have laid this provision for one thing. That when we talk about 164, it also brings me to the case of DK Basu, where there is some kind of coercion or undue influence on the person making the statement. It should be a full full voluntariness and truthfulness. But if police is present, upon that, if the magistrate is failing to record the certificate, it disturbs the credibility of 164, your lordships. Hence, I am contesting that when he retracted the confession, the council rightfully pointed out that 164 is lapsed and it should not be even admitted in the court of law. And it should be struck down as it lapsed just because the magistrate failed to give the certificate.
Now the question is whether that certificate is mandatory, and if it is not mandatory, then what is the effect of non-recording of state? Read the section itself where it is recorded that a certificate shall be recorded. What it says.
So section 463. Yes, your lordship. Your lordships, subsection 4 of 164 states that any such confession shall be recorded in the manner provided. Four. Your lordships, it is explained that I have explained to the accused, his name, that he is not bound to make a confession, and that if he does so, any confession he may make may be used as evidence against him, and I believe that this confession was voluntarily made. It was taken in my presence and hearing and was read over to the person making it and admitted by him to be correct, and it contains full and true account of all the statements made by him and further signed by the magistrate. Your lordships, my also contention is that this particular part that I read right now is not the certificate but the memorandum. It came across when I went to 281. There is no mention of certificate in 164, but there is mention of certifying under 281 of CRPC, clause subsection 5. It mentions that the magistrate has to certify it in a certain manner. If your lordships permit, may I read it? Your lordships, in the instant matter, there have been lapses at multiple stages, be it during the collection of evidence, be it during making the recovery, and also during the confessional statements that have been made. A similar case was decided by the Supreme Court in this year, which is 2023. It was the case of Inderjit Das versus the state of Tripura. This case is also similar and the facts are also very similar, but here in this very case, the murder weapon was recovered at the roadside, and also alongside it, your lordships, the mother failed to recognize, and the bike was also found in this manner. Yet, Supreme Court has held that it was not enough to grant a conviction, and rightfully trial court has erred while granting a conviction. Your lordships, we are dealing with a similar matter wherein there is nothing corroborative, there is nothing which is concrete to prove the guilt of the accused beyond reasonable doubt. There are multiple doubts. Your lordships, in physics there is a law called Murphy's law, which states that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And in this case, that very thing has happened. Everything that could have been flawed has been flawed. The police during their investigation, the magistrate while recording, and even if the magistrate has made an error under 164, that was not corrected. The trial court has failed to notice that one person, the same statement. Yes, sir.
Your Lordship. Your Lordships, I am speaker number 2 on behalf of appellants, and I will be dealing with issues number 3 and 4, which is namely whether conviction based on recovery under section 27 is applicable in this case in absence of dead body and absence of forensic evidence, and the fourth issue, which is whether the conviction of the juvenile by the trial court is appropriate. Your Lordship, before starting, I would like to read out what section 27 of the Indian Evidence Act says. Okay, Your Lordship. Proceeding, there are some important of our constitution, which is that no accused person shall be compelled to be a witness of our constitution, which is that no accused person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. Your Lordship, section 27 here is contradictory and is in exception to this particular article and this particular section of section 25. Your Lordship, here I will be contending that this section is illegal because, Your Lordship, the law commission.
Can we see the legality or constitutionality of this section while dealing an appeal?
No, Your Lordship, but since we are young lawyers who have to take the law forward, we have to. It has to be amended.
Law is all nice, but you have to know the limits also. We are hearing an appeal, not a writ petition.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
We are not a constitutional court as of now. We are an appellate court, and appellate court has to go by the parameters of appeal.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
So we have to go by what is there in the statute. Statute has section 27. We have to go by challenge the validity somewhere else, not before us.
Noted, Your Lordship. Proceeding with section 27, let's break down the section. Only a confession given under police custody is admissible in the court of law, which leads to discovery of a subsequent fact is admissible in the court of law. Here, Your Lordship, in the fact sheet it is clearly stated that the police went to the house of the two accused and procured their statement. Your Lordship, this would not count as custody of police officer, which makes this not admissible in the court of law, which would lead. So this section basically talks about how the information given by the accused should lead to the discovery of a subsequent fact. Here, Your Lordship, a knife has been recovered, and according to the investigating officer, a knife has been recovered at the instant of the accused. But, Your Lordship, it has nowhere been said. The statement of facts clearly says that the police found the knife which was hidden by the accused. Your Lordship, in the landmark judgment, which is the biblical judgment in the case of section 27, that is Pulpuri Kotaya versus the Emperor, which is a Privy Council judgment, in that a very beautiful analogy was given. Your Lordship, there it was stated that if an accused person says that he has hidden a knife, that would not lead to proving that he has committed the murder. If he confesses that he has hidden a knife with which he has stabbed a particular person, then that would constitute as a confession, and that would be the only thing that would be admissible in the court of law. Here, Your Lordship, in the statement of facts, it is clearly mentioned.
First of all, we want a clarification from you on the facts. You said when this recovery was made, the accused was not in the custody of the police.
Yes, Your Lordship.
Right? But if we go by the Moot problem, the GD was recorded on the statement of mother of the deceased, and thereafter Sub-Inspector Kishwar Singh proceeded to investigate the matter.
Indeed,
right?
Your Lordship. Indeed.
And the accused is taken in custody.
No, Your Lordship, he was not taken in custody. That is the entire contention. The police were supposed to go and inquire with the two accused who were at their homes. They were supposed to go and inquire, and when they were at their homes, at that time, allegedly, according to the investigating officer, the confession was given through which the recovery is restricted in this movement by the police, because the police is an authority. Your Lordship, the true sense of custody would only be...
And if the person submits to the custody?
Pardon, Your Lordship?
The accused submits to custody. Is there a question of decision or no?
Your Lordship, the accused did not submit to custody. Now, we are talking about confession here. Confession has to be made willingly and voluntarily. So, a person who wants to make a confession will make it in the police station in front of the police. Here, the police has gone to their house in the pretext of inquiring about the entire incident, and there they have extracted the confession, and there, according to the police investigating officer, he said that the accused said knife was hidden.
I read for you a sentence from the Moot problem. FIR against Ganga and Dev was registered, and both accused were arrested under section 302 oblique 34 of 341 of Indian Penal Code. Right?
Indeed.
This, according to you, is not custody of the police.
Your Lordship, but the recovery was done when the confession that the police is talking about, it was taken at the homes. So they weren't arrested before it, and no FIR was filed before it. They recovered the murder weapon first, and after that they arrested them, and after that the FIR was filed.
Good. What is the custody of the police? Whether the physical custody is required or mere presence of the police will amount to custody when they are accusing somebody of the offence?
Your Lordship, it would not exactly mean only physical custody because the police would be a person in authority. But Your Lordship, the movement should be restricted. The person who is giving the confession shouldn't feel like he has an escape out of the custody of the police officer. Here at the comfort of their homes, when the police are extracting the confession from them, then it cannot be...
Whether the place of this recording the statement is important, whether it is home or the police station or some street?
Your Lordship, when home comes into equation, then it is important because home means the comfort of the accused people. It wouldn't mean that they are scared of the police over there.
They could be arrested from the home also. When the police goes there and tells them that they are wanted in a murder case and they question them, what does it mean?
Your Lordship, the police went for enquiry purposes.
Okay, please proceed.
Your Lordship, it was stated in a landmark judgment by the Supreme Court in the case of Subramanya versus the state of Karnataka as to how recovery is supposed to be done. Your Lordship, the court clearly stated that it is the duty of the police officer to call for two independent witnesses in order to record the statement of the accused. Yes, Your Lordship, just propounding what he has said and giving you the exact procedure that needs to be followed. Your Lordship, two independent witnesses have to be called. The accused has to be made to give his statement or his confession in front of them. Then the two independent witnesses would attest to that, and that would form the first part of the Panchnama. Indeed, Your Lordship. Coming to the fourth issue, that is whether the juvenile who has been convicted by the trial court is appropriate whether the trial court is appropriate in its conviction. Your Lordship, for dealing with juveniles in India, we infamously have the Juvenile Justice Act 2015. Your Lordship, it was the first primary duty of the police that as soon as they knew, it is given in the fact that one of the accused person was a juvenile, and as soon as they knew that, it was their duty to submit that juvenile to a juvenile justice court. Your Lordship, in this case, Juvenile Justice Act has been made a joke out of because not one provision of it has been complied with. Your Lordship, the juvenile is supposed to be submitted to the Juvenile Justice Court, who will make a preliminary assessment whether to try him as an adult. And a juvenile can only be tried as an adult when he falls between the ages of 16 to 18. May I continue? Only when he falls within the ages of 16 to 18. In the preliminary assessment, the Juvenile Justice Board has to determine whether he has the mental and physical capacity to commit the crime, whether he is aware of the circumstances around him when he is committing the crime, and whether he is aware of the consequences. Your Lordship, this would form the preliminary assessment, after which, if the board is convinced that he has the mental capacity, physical capacity, and all other criteria has been met, then he will be transferred to a children's court. It is only the children's court who has jurisdiction to try children as adults. And this act came after the Nirbhaya Act because of the uproar that was caused during that case. So, Your Lordship, only the children's court will have the jurisdiction to try a particular juvenile in accordance with the Code of Criminal Procedure. That also has not been followed over here. And this clearly given in the fact sheet that the juvenile was sentenced to an imprisonment for life, which again contravenes the provisions of the Juvenile Justice Act. Your Lordship.
No, what do you suggest in case the juvenile is tried by review court, whether he is to be straightway acquitted or his separate trial is ordered to be, retrial is to be ordered by the Juvenile Justice Board?
Your Lordship.
What is your prayer?
Your Lordship, a retrial shouldn't be conducted by the Juvenile Justice Board because the juvenile has already gone through the mental and emotional trauma of being encaptured with a bunch of adult hardened criminals. Your Lordship.
The question is, let's suppose we agree with you that he was a juvenile and should not have been tried by the session judge, and instead he should have been tried by the juvenile court. What should we do? Should we acquit him or should we send him to the juvenile board for retrial?
No, Your Lordship, the appellants would always pray for acquittal because, as I said, the juvenile has already spent enough of his time in jail. As this case took place in 2020, he was arrested then, and now it is 3 years later. He was a juvenile when he committed the crime, and now, after 3 years, he has already spent all the time in the jail.
What is the case law on the point in such case? What is the case law on the point if the juvenile is tried by the incompetent court and then the appeal comes? Whether the retrial should be ordered or it should be acquitted? What is the case law?
Your Lordship, I am not aware of the case law, but I do know that there was a landmark Supreme Court judgment which said this. Sorry?
Which judgment, please?
If I could go back to my researcher and then get back to you.
In rebuttal, you can come.
Sure, yes.
Thank you.
Your Lordship. If Your Lordship is satisfied with the arguments, may I proceed with the prayer? Wherefore, in the light of the issues raised, arguments advanced, and authorities cited, it is humbly requested that this Honourable Court may be pleased to adjudge and declare that the above appeal is maintainable, that the trial court has erred in convicting the appellants on basis of circumstantial evidence available in this case, that the court has erred in convicting the appellants on basis of retracted confession, that recovery under Section 27 of Indian Evidence Act is not available in this case, and that the decision of the trial court be set aside and this appeal be allowed, and pass any such other order that it deems fit in the interest of justice, equity and good conscience. And for this, the appellant as in duty bound shall humbly do. Thank you, Your Honor.
Council 6 Commission address the Honorable.
Yes.
To address the Honorable Bench collectively and individually.
What is the name of this RC? Team number?
Sir, team code 38.
RC 38.
Yes, sir, 233.
Counsel, on the behalf of respondents, stand before this honorable court at the case of Ganga and other state. I, counsel number 1, shall be dealing with issue number 1 and 2, and my co-counsel will deal with issue number 3 and 4. If your lordships are privy with the facts of the case, shall the counsel raise legal issue number 1?
Yes.
Once or twice, your lordships. Your lordships, the first issue is, can conviction be based on circumstantial evidence available in the case? So the general rule is definitely not speaking to the case, but in general rule is that the conviction solely can be based on circumstantial evidences. There are plethora of cases on to the point. To cite for your lordship, there is Padala Hira Reddy versus State of Andhra Pradesh and others.
Padala we'll see later. First complete the chain.
Okay, indeed, your lordship. So your lordship, coming to chain of circumstances. Chain starts from the very time when Sumit told his mother that I am going with Ganga and Dev for dinner at when he told his first instance, your lordship.
Don't you feel evidence of mother of Sumit is hearsay evidence?
No, your lordship.
Why?
Your lordship, with regard to that also, I would also like to make that statement of mother relying on the Paklan Ryan Swami case, where it was stated that when the husband went to the place of crime, he told his wife that he received a letter and is going to the spot of crime. Same thing has happened in this case, your lordship, that when he was going, he told his mother that I am going to this particular place to meet this particular people. So relying I have the judgment of Paklan Ryan as well, your lordship, which was
Only to the extent of last scene. Can we base the proposition of last scene on this statement of the mother that he was seen in the custody of, in the company of the accused?
Your Lordship, for the last inquiry, there are other instances which will I rely upon.
There is no other instance.
Your Lordship, for example, Your Lordship, with your permission, the recovery of weapon was there, which was based on their confession, which is admissible under section 27.
Recovery will come later. Let us complete the chain first. The chain starts according to your case from the statement of the mother that Sumit has told her that he is going with his friends and do not prepare dinner for me. Can this statement be taken to be the statement of last scene? That is the question.
Indeed, Your Lordship, it can be taken as the last inquiry. We're relying on that because not individually, but when we relate all the facts, when we establish the whole chain, then it can be established. Give me 1 minute, Your Lordship.
You mean this is one of the chain of circumstance?
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Okay, come to the second chain. How do you complete the chain?
So firstly, when we told that Ganga and Dev, police called them that we should come to the police. Now, as per section 8, subsequent conduct of the accused, they did not come to the police when they were asked, so they did not come. That is the second part of the chain. As per section 8 of Indian Evidence Act, that is admissible, Your Lordship. Third, Your Lordship, come to the recoveries now. Your Lordship, they stated as per their confessions that they hide, as per their statement was, weapon of crime. They stated that they put that in a particular place and the police find that particular weapon at the same place. So this recovery, if not much, Your Lordship, we can presume at least one thing from this recovery, that they were present on the crime of scene. Nothing much, just that they were present on the crime of scene. From this presumption that they were present, now the last thing we can be established. Since they were there, that is the very important point, Your Lordship. When it is established,
Ulukari says that only that part of the statement number 27 is admissible which tells about the particular fact, right? Not the part that says that I killed the man with this particular knife. That is not admissible. Only the fact that the knife was recovered on the basis of this statement, that part is admissible.
we are not denying that, Your Lordship. Definitely, but what the presumption I am asking this court to make, that there are no other hypotheses from this, that if the recovery was made from the exact place, that it only established one point, that they were at least present. We are not asking more, that they were at least present on the spot. The court might agree that from this recovery, one thing could be established, that they were present on the spot. Then, Your Lordship, from this, there are broken pieces of glasses which also corroborate their statement which is given. They stated that they purchased a bottle of alcohol. Now that bottle, broken pieces were also found there, Your Lordship. Then, Your Lordship, there were visible marks of dragging, and which is also being corroborated. Your Lordship, section 7 of Indian Evidence Act and the illustration B, I would like to quote, Your Lordship, that says that the question is whether A murdered B. Marks on the ground produced by a struggle at or near the place where the murder was committed are relevant facts. So from there, Your Lordship, the illustration is very much supporting my case, Your Lordship. It is in the fact sheet, Your Lordship, in the statement.
The pieces of glass were covered. Where do you get it from? Problem says FIR against Wensto was recorded. The police recovered the weapon of crime on the basis of information.
The very first paragraph, Your Lordship.
Yes.
Your Lordships, these visible marks of dragging, they also establish the whole. Then, Your Lordship, lastly, the judicial confession, which was made by them. So this whole So, Your Lordship, the chain of circumstances completes this way, that first, he told his mother that I am going with this group. Second, they were called upon to the police station, but they did not came, which shows the subsequent conduct, Your Lordship. Thirdly, Your Lordship, the recovery of the weapon, they are calling it crime weapon, so now it is upon to the court, Your Lordship. So, but the weapon was recovered from there. Thirdly, the dragging signs were there, which is also relevant fact, Your Lordship. Then the broken piece of glasses are there, that which is also a relevant fact. Then the blood stains present there, they are also a relevant fact as per the report. And lastly, from this presumption, as I have already asked from this court, that a presumption can be made that they were present on the spot, and from there lastly theory will come.
In this case, dead body was not recovered. What is the effect of non-recovery of dead body?
Indeed, Your Lordship. Your Lordships, as per the statement, the
The
draft...
person may be alive. Maybe after some year he come back and say that look, I am alive, and there are circumstances when a person is convicted and later on the man is found to be alive.
Indeed, Your Lordships. Your Lordships, as per the fact sheets, they dragged the body from the place of crime and they throw it into the river. Now, how can we presume from the police that they will do an act which is, by the fact of it, becomes impossible, because if they have thrown it in the river, how can we ask from the police that they will recover such body, because it has been gone away. It might have been gone to some other place, or it might have been...
So maybe the extent of injuries are not known. Maybe he is slightly injured and he is maybe good swimmer also, he may be swim across and he goes missing when they are convicted, and then after the entire process is complete, he come back.
But the Lordship is given by the your hypothesis, if we go by that, it has been 3 years as they have also stated, and conviction is already done by the trial court. If he had to come in, he had, but that is not the point, Lordship.
So what is
the blood was also there.
What is the law on the point in case of non-recovery of dead body?
The Lordship, there has been judgments where even without the recovery of dead body, the conviction has been given. Your Lordships, there was a case of Sevika Paramal versus State of Tamil Nadu 9913 SEC 471. In this case, the conviction was given even though there was no recovery of that. Coming to the Your Lordship, the same point of that the mother's statement is very heavy compared to the Pakistan Ryan case, because it comes in as 32, section 32 of India's Evidence Act, so it should be also taken into consideration. If your Lordships have no further question with regard to issue number 1, the Council would like to raise issue number 2. Much obliged, Your Lordships. Your Lordships, the second issue is conviction based on retracted confession appropriate? Your Lordships, the general rule is indeed it is admissible. There is a judgment. I request the court master to kindly hand over the judgment. Your Lordship, in this case, there were even few procedural irregularities on the part of magistrate while recording the confession. Still, the retracted confession was taken into consideration, and with the help of corroboration, it was admissible and the person was convicted. Your Lordship, the last para says that since the confession was retracted, one has to look around to see whether there is any corroboration to connect the accused with the crime, although not containing the full evidence about the commission of offence. In our present case, Your Lordships, the confession is completely being corroborated by every fact which is being there in the present in the case, as has been established in the chain of circumstances. Your Lordships, they stated in the confession that they purchased a bottle of wine, the pieces of glass were there. They stated that they dragged it, the marks of dragging were there.
Pieces of glass, no doubt, are stated to have been recovered, but they are not sent for forensic examination to find out whether alcohol was there or not. How do you connect those pieces with the incident?
Your Lordships, the only reason which is probable that police, why didn't they send this particular evidence?
We are not asking why, we are asking the effect. Effect of not sending the glass pieces for forensic examination. How do you connect those pieces?
Your Lordship, it is not fatal for the case of the prosecution, even if they have
We are not saying fatal, we want you to tell us how these are connected with the occurrence.
Indeed, Your Lordship. They are corroborating the confession, they have stated that they were there.
They will corroborate only when they are found to be relevant.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
We say these were the pieces of glass of something else, not of that bottle which according to you was used to take liquor. How do you say it was the same bottle? Only forensic examination could say that we found alcohol on the pieces of glass, there is no forensic report.
Your Lordship's one reason could be that because they already had a confession and they already had a confession on one hand.
Not already.
Judicial confession, Your Lordship.
Not already. The pieces of glass are recovered first, confession is later.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
So,
but Your Lordship,
and they never say that these pieces of glasses are of that very bottle from which we consume the alcohol.
But Your Lordship, it raised a reasonable presumption in the mind that they were from the same one.
So, entire case of yours is based on presumptions.
No, Your Lordship, the confession which is
And the law is that when the case is based on circumstantial evidence, every link should be so securely linked that there is no hypothesis of innocence of the accused. And on every step you are saying presumption.
Your Lordships, with regard to that, even if we leave the particular wine bottles aside, still there are the chain is complete, Your Lordships, from the mother's statement up till the confession, the judicial confession, which is in itself a very heavy piece of evidence.
Anyway, let's hear your partner. Where is your partner?
Much obliged, Your Lordships.
Yes, please.
Council number 2 will be dealing with the issue number 3 and issue number 4. Issue number 3 before this honorable court is that can a conviction be merely based on the recovery under section 27 of Indus Evidence Act in the absence of any forensic evidence and the recovery of dead body? It is humbly submitted that perfect evidences are seldom to be had.
Just a preemptory question. Do you want to suggest that the 27 evidence is the only evidence, or this is one of the links available in the chain?
It is one of the links available in the chain. A conviction can be based on section 27 when it is corroborated with other evidences as established by my co-counsel, the chain of evidence.
The issue is, can conviction be based on the evidence collected under 27 only? The issue is, can evidence collected under 27 alone be basis of conviction? That is the issue. And my question is that whether that this is the only evidence or this is a link in the chain. If you say this is link in the chain, then you have to show us the chain. If you say this is the only evidence, then argument of your partner goes.
Can conviction be merely based on the recovery under section 27 of the Indus Evidence Act in the absence of forensic evidence and the recovery of dead body, as it is already corroborated by the chain of circumstances established? It is humbly submitted before this honorable court that perfect evidences are seldom to be had in this imperfect world. It is humbly submitted before this honorable court that conviction based on the discovery made under section 27 of the Indus Evidence Act is licit, as it is supported by other circumstantial evidences too. The discoveries made under section 27 of Evidence Act is in investigation are very crucial. Such discoveries not only acts as the foundation stone of the proceeding with an investigation, but also completes the chain of circumstances. Once recovery is proved by the prosecution, the burden of proof on the defense to refute the same is very strict, which cannot be discharged merely by pointing out the procedural irregularities in making the recoveries. The reliance for the same can be placed on Mukesh vs. State of NCT Delhi. The complete citations for the same are AIR 2017 Supreme Court 2161. It is humbly submitted before this honorable court that as this section is founded on the principle that if a confession of accused is supported by the discovery of a fact, then it may be presumed to be true and not have been instructed. As how this fact was only known to the accused and not anyone else. It is an important fact in the chain of circumstances. It is pertinent to note that it comes into operation only if and when certain facts are deposed to as discovered in consequence of information received from an accused person in the police custody, and if the information relates distinctly to the facts discovered. It is humbly submitted that the extent of the information admissible must depend upon the exact nature of the fact discovered, to which information is required to relate. Essentially, under section 27, disclosure of the statement leading to the discovery of the fact is admissible, and the reliance for the same can be placed on Rumipura Datta versus State of Assam. The complete citations for the same are as AIR 2013, Supreme Court 2422. The discovery of the fact arises by the reason of the fact that the information given by the accused exhibited the knowledge of the mental awareness of the information as to its existence in a particular place. It includes the discovery of an object, the place from which it is produced, and the knowledge of the accused as to its existence. Can the court master please? For the same, reliance can be placed on paragraph number 21 of Asar Muhammad versus State of Uttar Pradesh. Paragraph number 21. The same has been flagged, Your Lordship. Here, the discovery of weapon by the police officer on the basis of information disclosed by the accused makes it more evident that Sumit was brutally murdered by both the accused. It is humbly submitted that there are the following essentials of section 27 of Indus Evidence Act, which are upheld by Mohammed Inayatullah versus State of Maharashtra. For the same, paragraph number 12 of the judgment is referred, Your Lordship. Paragraph number 12. Pertinent to note here that there are the following essentials of section 27 of the Indus Evidence Act. The fact must have been discovered in the consequence of information received from the accused. The person giving the information must be accused of an offence. The portion only of the information which relates distinctly to the fact discovered can be proved. Before the statement is proved, somebody must depose that article were discovered in the consequence of the information received from the accused. As for the same, I refer paragraph number 5, line number 2 of the Moot proposition. It is mentioned that police recovered the weapon of given by both the accused. The last essential ingredient is the fact discovered must be relevant fact. That is to say, it must relate to the commission of the caution of the crime. It is pertinent to note here that weapon of crime was discovered on the basis of the information provided by the accused. The part of the confession by which accused to the police leading into the identifying the place where the dead body was lying is admissible, and for the same, reliance can be placed on Anuj Kumar Gupta versus State of Bihar. The complete citations for the same are as AIR 2013, Supreme Court 3013. The accused have submitted that they have murdered Sumit, dragged his dead body and bike in the nearby river, which makes it next to impossible for the investigation team to recover the dead body and record any forensic evidence, Your Lordships. Next issue. For the juvenile, issue number 4 is drafted. If Your Lordship permits, Council would like to move that issue. Now the Council will be dealing with issue number 4. The issue number 4 before this Honorable Court is the conviction of juvenile accused by the trial court justified. It is humbly submitted before this Honorable Court that every sin has a past and every sinner has a future. It is humbly submitted that Juvenile Justice Act provides the provision and circumstances where a juvenile can be tried as an adult. The relevant provisions of the Act, that is Section 1, Subsection 4, Section 2K, Section 2L and Section 7 must lead to mean that juvenile children below the age of 18 who are intellectually, emotionally and mentally mature to understand the implication of their actions and have committed a serious crime do not come under the Act's purview. Such juveniles should be liable to be dealt by the penal law and regular hierarchy of court under criminal justice system administered by India. The reliance for the same can be placed on Dr. Subramaniam Swamy and others versus Raju and others. The complete citations for the same as 2014 Supreme Court cases 390.
What is the age of the juvenile in this case?
Relying on the Moot proposition, there is a grey area regarding regarding the age of the juvenile. It is only mentioned in the clarification that the age is above 12 years.
So we have to take it 12 years on the lower side.
The council is here to assist and request the court that a presiding officer of a session court and investigating agencies who are conducting such kind of investigations on regular basis cannot be so erroneous and ignorant about the law that they have...
No, the law is that before the appellate court, the entire case is open. Do you feel that we cannot pass that order which should have been passed by the trial court?
Pardon your lordship?
Can we pass an order which should have been passed but has not been passed by the trial court? Suppose trial court has made a mistake, right? And the matter comes before us in appeal. Can we set that mistake right?
Not your lordship.
Not. Then what is the purpose of hearing this appeal?
Council is just assisting and requesting the court to presume in the favor of the state that a presiding officer cannot be so erroneous that he surpassed the jurisdiction, that he surpassed the power of juvenile justice court and the jurisdiction of children's court, and an investigating agency that is doing such things on regular basis and conducting such investigations on regular basis.
We want to be clear about our powers. What can we do, what can we not do? If the trial court was oblivious of a particular fact, can we take note of that fact and rectify the mistake committed by the trial court or no?
Indeed, your lordship.
But just now you said no.
The council is just requesting and assisting the court to presume in the favor of the state.
Why? Why not to presume in favor of the accused?
As there is...
The law is that benefit of every lapse, I underline the words,
Indeed,
has
your
to
lordship.
accrue to the accused, not to the prosecution.
Indeed, your lordship. But here, the council have the judgment of the trial court to support their presumption that the particular investigation has been done, and the fact sheet is silent on the same that the investigation has been done or not has been done, the birth certificate or any other document has been recorded or not. Please.
So you mean to say that even if you don't know what are the powers of the appellate court, the court should know their powers. Thank you.
Council seeks apology, your lordship. Council seeks permission to cite the prayer. Wherefore, in the light of issues raised, argument advanced, and authorities cited, may this honorable court be pleased to declare that the appeal should be dismissed. The conviction of Ganga and Dev by the trial court should be upheld and pass any other order which may deem fit in the light of justice and good conscience, all of which respectfully submitted, and for this such act of kindness respondent shall be duty bound as it is. Your lordships, may we start with the rebuttals round?
Your lordship, hearing the contentions of the respondent sides, they have constantly come up with two contentions, and somehow neither of them fall within the purview of the four issues that are being raised. They have constantly contended to the court to make a presumption. So here, making a presumption equals to making an assumption, your lordship, and the law does not work on assumptions, it works on evidence. Here the chain of circumstantial evidence is incomplete. Your lordships have also contended to the same, but the counsel for the respondents have constantly emphasized on how the chain of circumstantial evidence is complete without providing a shred of evidence. Your lordship, no forensic evidence was found, no dead body was recovered, and no belongings belonging to Sumit have been found. Conveniently, only the murder weapon has been found. Your Worship, forensic evidence is of paramount importance in investigations in today's day. The science of forensic investigation in criminal litigation came into force in India in around 1950s, 1957. Started from the state of West Bengal and went to other states.
We are not interested in history of when it came to existence or not. Put your point.
Indeed,
the argument you are now giving should have been given in the affirmative, not in the rebuttal.
Your Worship, these are the contentions based on the arguments of the respondents. That is why I am giving it in the rebuttal.
You should have argued in the first instance that there is no forensic evidence to connect the.
May I proceed? Your Worship, the respondents have constantly tried to join two isolated incidents. One is the incident with Sumit and one is the incident that took place on Dilbag extension near Canal. Your Worship, the pool of blood that was found there, the pieces of glass or the bloodstained paper, nothing, everything was collected, but no report of it was given by the police or provided to the appearances. Your Worship, there is no way to confirm that Sumit has even died in this particular case. He could be missing, and here the appearance will make a presumption that Sumit is missing. Your Lordship, the entire reliance of the respondents, they're relying on circumstantial evidence. They're relying on recovery. But circumstantial evidence and recovery go hand in hand only when they can be corroborated together, Your Lordship. Circumstantial evidence cannot single-handedly be the basis of conviction, especially in this case, Your Lordship.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You want to add something?
Lordships, firstly with regard to presumptions, as they have, my learned counsel friend has stated that they are making presumptions. They have also made many presumptions throughout their arguments. They are saying, Your Lordship, in the fourth issue that the judicial process which is established by the JJ Act has not been followed, but it has never been mentioned in the Moot proposition that it has been followed or not. So why we should make this presumption that it has not been followed, when it should be presumed in the favor of state, because in these kind of lordships, when we have just one page of proposition, there are so many things left. Even the FIR is not there, charge sheet is not mentioned. So we are presuming things that they have happened. So that is why when these things are not there, we are bound to presume them because it is the format of this particular account.
Thank you.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. It was a pleasure dealing for this honor.
We request everyone to please be patient because the judgment is being prepared. Please. watching the beautiful teams competing with each other. Now we request our honorable judges to please give their valuable remarks for the final proceedings and announce the judgment.
Good afternoon, everybody. The result is being processed. In the meantime, may I take this opportunity to say something about the performance of the candidates. I fortunately have the opportunity of hearing to the arguments of 6 other teams also in addition to the 2 teams here in the finals. And I must confess before you that perhaps we would not have been able to argue in that particular perfection as the children have argued. We are really impressed by the extent of research the candidates have put in, their presentation and preparation of memorials. And in certain cases, the confidence level was so much that we were really surprised to see, and we were discussing between ourselves that at this stage, the stage when they are in the college only, the confidence they are showing, that shows that they are going to rise very high in their careers as advocates or winning or not winning apart. The purpose of Moot Code is to prompt you to analyze things, to prepare yourself to meet with certain situations, and to put your case in the best possible manner. The only difference between a Moot Court and a real court is that in the real court, effort is to win the case. But in Moot Court, it is to demonstrate your ability, your capability, your strength to present your case, to show the extent of research you have undertaken and the drafting skill of the candidate. So as far as these skills are concerned, we are really impressed by all the memorials and presentations made by the candidates. So I wish all the candidates all the best and conclude by saying that the winners should not take that they are something superior, and the losers, I should not use that word, the candidates who have not been able to make to the mark should not feel that they have lost the battle. This is only a difference of inches and centimeters, and we are finding very difficult to make a decision that way because all the candidates are very good and they have performed well, and the only thing is that the winner should be reminded every time that he has to maintain this level, and those who have not been able to come to the mark, they have to remind themselves that they have to put in a little bit more of effort so that they come to the level from which they have missed today. With these words, I hand over the mic to my brother, Mr. Sudeep Singh.
Good afternoon, everybody. It was an honor to attend this Moot Court and hear the arguments of the budding lawyers and judges, and of course successful professionals in any other field. I am very happy that at the stage when they are students, they have developed a good skill of marshalling the facts and then putting forward their reasoned arguments. Sometimes as a liar you may not be helped because your case is weak. So your arguments may not satisfy the bench. Or sometimes you also may not be able to support those arguments because the inherent weakness in the facts. But in any case, your success lies in marshalling the facts and then presenting your point of view. It may be accepted by the bench or not accepted, that is different thing. I am very happy that all the voters, they argued very well. They had the confidence at the stage when the liars, and particularly I appreciate voter number 2 from the appellate side, who excelled in her confidence at the stage, and I can see her bright career. Of course, the others can also, in the passage of time, they can also reach that stage. So I consider the liar now, the result is ready, and I will request my brother Mahavir Chauhan to announce the result. Thank you.
Incidentally, we don't have the names of the colleges and the competitors. I request Mr. Sharma either to provide us the names or will be pronounced on the basis of the code numbers, and he will decode. Yes. The winning team is RC2339. And runner of course is 2338. Then we have decided 2 best mooters. First is mooter second in team 2339. And second is mooter 1 in team 2338. Since we have now the rest of the names, the winning team is from Thakur Ram Narayan College, Mumbai. And the runner-up team is from Chopra University. 2 top mooters are Aniha Shroff from Thakur Ram Narayan College and Parvinder Singh from Chopra University. Yes, I stand corrected that the second mooters are also getting prizes as runner-up in the race, second best mooters.
In the meanwhile, the names are being recorded. I will share with you how the law helps you in the practical life. So when we brother were discussing about the result, my brother suggested that we should declare the result. We will interact later on. So I suggested that we should interact first and declare the result later, because after hearing the result, somebody may not be interested in hearing us. So that is the applying the facts to the practical circumstances, because everybody loses interest after the result is out. So this is how the law teaches you to apply the reasoning.
We still have something to keep you glued to your seats. A little bit of more result is to be announced regarding the 6 teams I have heard today in the morning. In the meantime, I may repeat what I said yesterday, that from next year onwards, we have made a change in the grading system. There will be no knockouts. The teams and the mooters will be given points by the judges, and all the points shall be aggregated, and the top 4 on those grades would make to the semi-finals. Another change, and I think that should be welcomed by all. Instead of having 10, 16 or 15 benches, from next year onwards we will have only 3 or 4 benches, and those benches will have repeated sittings, 2 sittings or 3 sittings depending on the number of candidates and teams. Now there is another surprise for the candidates, the participants. In the morning session, I heard arguments from 6 teams, and in my judgment, 2 of them, that is Rajiv Gandhi National University and Gita Institute, they deserve special prizes equivalent to quarterfinals. Still another surprise for the participants. There is one participant named Swaraj from Rajiv Gandhi National University. Is any participant named Swaraj or Suraj? Yes, come forward. And another participant from National Law University, Sonipat Sukhman. These 2 participants are to get judges' choice prizes. So my congratulations to all the prize winners, and equal congratulations to all who have participated in this very wonderful Moot court competition. and I hope that all of you would be returning from here enriched in very, very many manners. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Now I request all the dignitaries to please come on the stage for giving away the prizes to all the participants as well as the winners. Please. I request Sir Shri Chopra sir and Chopra ma'am to please come on the stage to give away the prizes. I again announce, please, all the dignitaries to come on the stage to give away the prizes. Please, everyone. Now it is the time to give away prizes to all the participating teams. So we request the collective teams to come on the stage for taking away the prizes. Please. Voices School of Law, Pune. All the participants of this team, please come forward. Please give a huge round of applause, everyone, please. University, Pune. Daily Law Society. Vivekanand Institute of Professional Studies. Symbiosis School of Law, Hyderabad. National Law University, Lucknow. Symbiosis School of Law, Nagpur. MIT School of Law, MIT University. Haveli Institute of Legal Studies. University, Greater Noida. National Law University, Shimla. National Law University, Sonipal. Haveli Institute of Legal Studies and Research.
हेलो मैडम रोयल ना अपने सामने ज़्यादा लंबा
Kerala Law Academy, Thiruvananthapuram.
सर बेटा लेके अपने सारे सर
Amity School of Law, Amity University. National Law University, Patiala. National Law University, Jaipur. Government Law College, Coimbatore. Please everyone applaud. Government Law College, Coimbatore. Departments of Law, Shimla. Departments of Law, Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. Trichy. RNB Global University. Lovely Professional University, Jalandhar. SS Jain Subodh Law College, Jaipur. Maharishi Mahakateshwar Teach to University, Ambala.
हेलो